So now we got the chain. I just took it out of the package. What we're gonna look for is a master link. The master link is right here. So got the chain apart. I don't have any hands right now, extra hands. So what I'm doing is I use a zip tie to use a clutch, to pull the clutch all the way in, to disengage it so this will spin freely. The sprocket right in here, that will turn. You want to stick this on the bottom. There's a bottom plate right here. You want to stick it under a tooth and you want to see if it'll move freely. And if it moves freely, like it does, you know you got your clutch good enough. If you put it on the outside, trying to feed the chain in here, you're gonna bind up in here. Remember how I talked to you, everything needs to be in sync and everything? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the chain up here, and I'm gonna get a whole bunch of slack, and I'm gonna wrap it around the back sprocket like so. But I have a whole bunch of slack. So when I eventually push it through, I'm gonna push it right on, and I won't have to have any really help. It's a little tip, as this is kind of a bear sometimes. But what you'll want to do is you want to set it on the gear itself. You want to set it on there, like so. See how it's in the teeth already? And the front is starting to go down. It'll go down. So, and then you'll want to grab your screwdriver and pry it up. And I can't even see, but as you can tell, I'm coming around. I've done this enough where it doesn't take a rocket scientist. If it did, I wouldn't be doing it. Just kidding. Yeah, just keep on feeding. Keep on feeding. Keep on feeding. But the tooth is right on the bottom. Now what happens is sometimes you have to grab a needle nose pliers, which I have my handy dandy needle nose right here. And I'm gonna grab the light. I'm gonna try to do this so you guys can see. And you want to grab that. Usually I take a screwdriver, but since I don't have a light in the hand and a hand and a hand, but as you guys can tell, success. But now I bring it around the bottom, like so, around up top. And I figure out how much chain links I gotta take off. Now remember, one chain link is not just this one. It's this one and this one. You gotta make sure you do that right. Because if you do too many, you're gonna be screwed. So, since this will be the one that I wanna take off to right here, that'll give me a lot of slack. So if I take off the next one, which would be this one, that would be almost, it might be a little bit less, but if I do that one, then it will be way too tight. We're gonna put the link, the master link, back on the bike. So when we do that, we don't wanna push it through this way and have the stuff on the other side. We wanna go this way with it. Try to keep it away from the tire as much as possible, everything away from the tire as much as possible. So just stick it up there like that. Take the top link, put that in there like so. Put the back one in first, slide it up like this. It's kind of hard to see right now. Sorry guys about the light, but you guys know how to do this. Oops. And then close it on up. Like so. Now the master link's done. So now we have all this slack. So we need a chain tensioner. The next thing we're gonna do is reassemble our painted pieces that we did. When these go through, they want to be on the back side. The bolts and come be this way. So what we're gonna do is I cut a piece of the thin rubber, wrapped it around so where it'll touch. Let me see if I can get this. Get the flashlight so you can see what I'm talking about. See how it's pretty much squared up right there. And what we're gonna do is we're going to put this piece, not necessarily for all the vibration, but to hold this more insecure so it doesn't slide around on this bar. Some people don't do that, some people do that. I found this way works a lot better. What you want to do is you want to figure out where you want it, where it will work best for you. See if I go here, then I can lift it up more. But the whole point of it is to be as far back, well, not necessarily as far back because then you have to deal with the spokes hitting. But you want to make sure that's safe and secure. Like if I put it right there, push it all the way up, it's pretty tight. So I'm going to probably go back just a tad bit more, right about there. Perfect. I got it on. It's pretty close to the right tension right there. About a ½ inch up. About an inch maybe, I should say. But this is pretty close in tension on what you want. Maybe a little bit more. But we'll have to wait until you ride this thing, and I'll show you guys different ways to make the chain fall off if it's going to fall off. Because you want to break it, not break it, but you want the chain to fall off now when you're testing out the equipment after you're done with it, rather than going down the road and turning a corner and all of a sudden the chain comes off. That sucks. And there you can see a lock washer and a washer. Up on top, that big washer right there, there's no lock washer on it. You don't really want to use one of those because use Loctite instead. This wheel right here wants to turn and be free. It's bearings inside of it. Well, the best way to do it is get another washer like that size, put it on the other side, and have a washer on this side. So you want to have a washer in the middle between this one, and a washer right there, and your nut. And then use some Loctite once you get into this position, and she should stay clear, she won't rattle off. On the bottom, again, just use a washer and a lock washer, and same thing for that bottom as well. As you can tell by me right here, there's a little bit of scrapes on the side, and what it was doing, it was kicked out. This part was kicked out, so I had to get it over a little bit. So I had to persuade it with a nice iron tool. Yeah. Next thing I want to do is I want to do the electrical system. So I'm going to get the coil out, we're going to mount it up, and we'll show you guys how to do this with the kill switch.